does the Quran, a holy book, talk about war? And that's a really good question. And I've been thinking about this for a while, even before you asked the question. But you asking the question really brought it to a head for me. And my reasoning is a little bit, well, it's actually fairly simple, but to get there is a little bit involved. Let's step back first and let's figure out what it is we actually think the Quran is. Okay, Muhammad presents it to us as the word of Allah, as read or dictated by Jibril, the angel Gabriel. So now Muhammad is either lying here, he just made it all up and he knows it, or he's delusional. He thinks this is happening and it really isn't. And then you've got to explain how he got all of these ideas. Or he's confused, something else happened. The other two options are, this is really what happened. Some entity being representing itself as Jibril went ahead and gave him these words. Now, where that came from, okay, you can go ahead and argue that it came from Allah or it didn't. And of course, there's another option that, Muhammad tapped into some universal consciousness, and this is how he was able to get these ideas. Now, for purposes of this discussion, I'm going to assume that either Muhammad has tapped into this universal consciousness somehow, he was meditating for a while, or that, these words were given to him, literally or perhaps figuratively by Jibril. Okay? Maybe Muhammad was using that as metaphor, having an angel talking to him. I don't know, okay? But let's assume, let's be generous at the very least, if you follow this or not, that be generous and at least give Muhammad the benefit of the doubt that this was a universal consciousness into which he tapped, just at the very least. I don't have any problem making that. I don't feel that I have to be generous in saying so. But if anybody else has a problem with it, just at the very least humor me. But give that generosity to Muhammad. Give him the benefit of the doubt. So we're left with those two options. We're gonna go with that. That's gonna be the assumption. The reason that I would go with that assumption for this argument is that if you don't, then you're dealing with either delusion or deception, and I'm not exactly sure how that's going to advance our common goals. Even if it's true, which I don't really think it is, but even if it is true, I don't see how that's going to get us any common ground. So just on practical grounds, let's make that assumption. If you have to be generous to do so, then please do. So we're looking at Muhammad tapping into a universal consciousness, or Muhammad actually getting these words dictated to him by a celestial being. Okay, so at least that. Just understand that that's where I'm coming from here. Once you've made those assumptions, granted that, I think that you have to look at the fact that Muhammad gets this message, presents it to the leading men of Makkah, his hometown there, the merchants, the political leaders, or whatever, and they reject it because it's going to screw up their business. And, they're willing to go to war with him for it. He doesn't bring the war. The other people bring the war to him. And then either, he has two choices. Does he continue? Does he persist? Or, does he just go away? And Muhammad chooses that, to persist. And when he does, there's violence that confronts him. Now he's either tapped into this universal consciousness or can tap into it again and again, or he actually has, a celestial being giving him these words. What would you expect? He would get advice either from the universal consciousness or from divinity, celestial being. He would be getting this advice from this area. He would be able to tap into this particular bit of advice about war, or he would be given advice from Allah, or whatever other explanation you want to use. I'm fine with that. That's what he would get. So, I mean, that to me is a very reasonable explanation. It's rational. I mean, once you make those other assumptions, and you may find them to be irrational or not, but again, for practicality's sake, let's go ahead and assume that, because that's how we're going to move forward on this. Once you get there, it seems obvious. So he's in a state of war with these people who are threatening him, and what else would you expect? So I hope I haven't dodged any issues here with you. I hope I've been clear. If not, please go ahead and make any comments that you need to make, ask any questions that you need to make. And, as always, I appreciate the dialogue, and thanks for watching.